Spring is in full force now, and I wanted to show you in this little flower bed that's right off the deck here. This is where I had planted some purple coneflower last year, and purple coneflower is a perennial. So you can see here this little green spot here, and these right here, these are new purple coneflowers that are coming up. Now, a couple of days ago, I noticed right here on the outside of the flower bed, you can kind of see those two little holes right there. Some of the coneflower seeds had come out and were sprouted on the outside. So this is a little coneflower here. This is a little coneflower here, here, and here. So these will come up this spring or this summer. They probably won't come up till summer, but you need to sometimes perennials look like weeds, so you just need to pay attention to their leaves and just give them a chance to come back in. Now there's lots of grass in this flower bed. I need to pull the weeds up, but those are not weeds. Those are, here's another one, those are coneflowers. So I wanted to show you what was the project for today. As you know, in a previous video, I decided that I had bitten off more than I could chew with my garden. And I had decided to go ahead and lay some lawn fabric down and then put some mulch on top of it so that I would not have so much weeding to do. And so with the help of my wonderful husband, we did that. And let me show you over here. It looks pretty nice. It really gives the garden a finished look when you put down the mulch. So as you can see here, I've got my, right there, that tall plant in the center is a viburnum, and it will have, some people call it a palm, a Japanese palm. It has big white flowers in clusters. The different roses, and they're beginning to bloom out. These are some really pretty ones. As you may recall, these are knockout roses, double knockout roses, most of them. So they're just beginning to bloom. You have to be careful with roses. They have to have at least 6 hours of direct sunlight. You wouldn't think in the middle of all these trees that they would get it, but I did watch the sun before I planted them, and they do get 6 hours of sunshine. So as you can see, they're doing very well here. They have lots of blooms on them. This one hasn't bloomed out yet. It's a pink one, but these red ones are already going very strongly. So anyway, we put down this mulch so that I wouldn't have to weed so much of the garden, because I'm not planning on planting any more things in this section of the garden this year. I'm going to save it for next year. These two little roses, I've got these two here, and I've got those two over there, and they were planted this year. The other roses that I just showed you were planted at the end of last year. So anyway, when I ran out of mulch, and this is the part that doesn't have any lawn fabric. It's really hard to put lawn fabric down if you've got a lot of bedding plants, and of course if you've got bulbs coming out. So this is just open dirt around these flowers. But what I am going to do is I have several bags of mulch over here, and I hope to, you can kind of see the pile of mulch there. I hope to spread those today. What I will do is I will pick out as many of these weeds as I can and put the mulch down, and hopefully that will keep the weeds from being too much work. There's always weeding to do. If you have a garden, there's always weeding to do, and it kind of feels good to me to pull weeds and kind of protect all these plants. One thing I wanted to show you, I have this part of the garden here is full of lilies, and I wasn't quite happy with the amount of lilies that I had here, but it was hard to know. Lots of times when I have planted bulbs in an area where bulbs are already planted, my spade will ruin one of the bulbs because I didn't know where it was. So since these are all up, I was lucky enough to find some bulbs still available for sale. Normally they need to be planted here in Texas. They need to be planted in January and February, this lily bulbs. But I did find some, this is March now, and I did find some, no, pardon me, it's not March, it's April. I did find some that were still for sale, so I got them. They may not come up this year, but at least I knew where to plant them, because all of the bulbs that will come up this year have already broken through the ground, as you can see. So even if they don't come up, then we will enjoy them next year. And since bulbs for this type are perennial, you can really plant them anytime. You want to plant them when they are as fresh as possible, but if you have to plant them a month or two late, then that shouldn't be too much worry. So today I'm just going to spread the mulch. I don't have a whole lot to do in the garden besides try to clear out a few of these weeds. I did buy another package of bulbs. I bought some Liatris or Gay Feather. Those are little bulbs, and I'm going to plant these Gay Feathers. They're purple and they're tall and spiky plants, and I'm going to plant these behind these two guara plants. So we have the different spiky plants here with these little pink guara, or some people call these butterfly plants. Anyway, because in the wind their little flowers look like butterflies holding on to stalks. So I'm going to plant these today, and those guara also should have been planted at least a month ago. But if they don't bloom this year, that's okay. They'll bloom next year, and I do want to get them in the ground. When you buy a package of bulbs, on the back it shows the different zones and shows what time you should be planting them in your garden, and it also tells you how deep. The general rule of thumb is you plant a bulb, the bottom of the hole that you dig for the bulb should be 3 times as deep as the bulb is tall, so that once you put the bulb in, you've still got twice the size of the bulb on top of the bulb to kind of hold it in place. So but anyway, your specific planting guides are on the sides of those packages, so there's not a lot of guessing work to that. I feel bad because I haven't really had you watch planting things, but essentially in this ground here, you just dig a hole and you stick the plant in it. Some plants like these guara, these bellflowers here, these coreopsis right here, you just plant the bedding plant in to where the ground is the same level as the dirt in the pot. So that's not really hard. Bulbs are a little harder because you kind of have to judge the hole, but if you get them wrong, they're pretty durable. So that's all the video I have for today. I just wanted to show you how pretty the garden is becoming, and save the rest for another day.